All right, so normally I would have a picture up here where you see this dot next to this rabbit. I'm not even sure if you can see my screen that I got going on here. But I don't have those there because I disconnected the camera because I've been using that camera with my MacBook on some other videos I've been recording. But I uploaded a video yesterday, but is a filler word. I uploaded a video yesterday about accidents and there being no accidents, and I talked about what I believe to be some pretty, I don't know, maybe controversial things. I was talking about whether or not drug use is and I'm checking the microphone now. I was a little far from the microphone. I was talking about whether or not drug use was acceptable, and I laid out the fact that, like, hey, when you go to the doctor gives you drugs. The doctor is a legal drug dealer, and and I didn't even talk about this in that video, but if you're having some sort of issue with something, all you have to do is fast. The problem is that most of us, we can't go without eating or consuming something for longer than 24 hours. And okay, that's a problem. At any rate, the reason why I recorded that video is because it is, and I told you that stuff that I told you just now because it's knowledge. You can go and you can look this stuff up and you can find it. And you can become a healthier, wealthier, more communicative person, which means that you'll have better relationships. And I'm telling you this from experience because I've had what anything you can imagine, I have experienced, and it has been eye opening, and it's also been quite painful emotionally. But anyway, I came to show you this because on this setup I have this ability to switch between all these different screens. I have all these screens, and in the middle that's where my face would be, and then over here these are other windows that I have. I call these knowledge bases, and they contain basically information on everything that I learn and research. Even when I have a job or something, I'll keep notes. And it's so I can find this stuff. It's so I can move at the speed of thought. And I've been constructing this system over a number of years. And interestingly enough, near every situation that I've been in with other people, where I have shown them something that I have done either by way of my work or labors or whatever, they don't ask about how I did it. They don't care about the process. And that's understandable. I found that most businesses don't care about the process unless you're working for some egotistical person that wants you to do things their way or has to have you do things their way. Now, I understand that there are situations that you can get into where you have to do things their way. If you're in a business and the business is running and you were not hired to improve anything, then it's your job to show up and do exactly what they tell you to do or what they hired you to do. It's been my experience, except for one place. And I'm telling you this because when we go out to get jobs, when you go out to get a job, most likely you're going to be so desperate to work for someone that you are not going to ask about the place that you're going to work in. You and if you do, pay attention because people will lie. But people in the corporate world, they lie in a different kind of way. They lie using what they call double speak. This is corporate talk for bullshit. So they will tell you what they need you to hear in order to get you to the interview and from the interview into the job role. And once you're in the job role, and this is a subconscious psychological thing. People know. You ever heard the saying misery loves company? When people are miserable, they want you to come join them and keep them company. So what they're looking for, depending on who you're being hired by, if you're being hired by the owner of the business, they're hiring your ass to make some money because they got some stuff that they want to do. At the very least, we can assume that they need to pay all the other employees. So they're hiring you in order to help make that possible so they can make a profit, so they can feed their family and their wife and their children and maybe their neighborhood and maybe their community and who knows who else. Some people out here trying to feed the entire church. Some people are trying to feed entire schools. Some people, you just don't know what people are up to. And they can't tell you most of the time because most people would think they're crazy until they show up on TV with bags of cash or in a rap video with gold teeth and gold chains and tattoos all over their face. If you're just a regular person who looks like a normal person and you're out here talking real talk about the real world, many people will not pay attention unless they see something you have. And that's cool. You don't need to see my face. You don't need to see anything that I got going on here. But if you listen to what I'm saying, you will die healthy, wealthy, and wise. Now, some will say, how do you die healthy? Because this is a temporary place. From the moment you're born, everybody here is preaching death. Every show you watch has some sort of death in it. People are cursing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Death is not the end. Death is the beginning. It's the beginning of the next thing. So if you do everything right here, when you leave here, you're going to go somewhere else. And you're probably going to do whatever you want to do. You're here because you came here to do some stuff that you want to do. I'm here having a conversation with you, not to teach you how to do anything, not to tell you how to do anything, but to share with you some ways that I have figured out how to do things so you can do those things too for yourself. I'm not going to show you any of that stuff in this video. In this video, what I'm showing you is this lighthouse, because today has been one of the roughest days of my life. I am in a relationship where I am the idiot. All I do is fumble the bag. Now, I admit that I make some questionable decisions, but these decisions have been made largely under duress in an attempt to placate and please the people around me. And I have not felt this being reciprocated, because if that were the case, I wouldn't be making this video. But in alignment with what it is that I'm after and what it is that I am supposed to accomplish and achieve here, all of those things had to happen in order for me to come here and make this video. So I'm sharing two things with you. If you feel or have felt that you're in a situation that you just can't figure out, I'm not telling you how to figure it out. You already know. The knowledge is already inside of you. But misery loves company. So misery is not going to tell you how to get it out. I am a positive God, and I like happy, joyful, fun people. And hey, you're here on earth. This isn't my domain. This is somebody else's home. They run things the way that they run them. This is the valley of the shadow of death. And though you walk through it, you don't have to be about it. You can do whatever you want here. The being in charge only has dominion over those who are in consent. And if I sound crazy, great. Click away, go somewhere else, because this is not meant for you, right? This video, this lighthouse you see at the top, it's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a month. It's been a hell of a year. But I knew that after the 8th month of the year that something would change, something would turn. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Eventually, I just stopped giving a shit. It's like, okay, whatever. Let people think what they want to think. Because at the end of the day, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you. You know how to do the things that they want to do, but they don't have the imagination to do those things. So when you attempt, all they can do is talk you off of the edge of your success. That's what I'm saying. I messaged someone today because I've been out of work, and I said, hey, you got any leads? They said, no. What have you been up to? we started talking about AI because I, like them, we've been studying AI for a long time. Me more so than them. I happened across the concept of tokenization from an old Masonic picture with a number cipher in it. And in the picture, it was a drawn picture. In the picture is a drawn picture of the number cipher. And that sent me down a rabbit hole researching all of this esoteric and occult stuff to the point where everybody around me thought I was fucking crazy. But I knew I wasn't, because I spent close to 17 years in the United States Army playing with cryptographic devices. The Coke 13, the K, there's another device you use to pull tape through it. We would get tapes with holes in them from the NSA. You pull them through this thing. I think it's I can't remember the name of it. It's a key reader. You pull the tape through the key. It's read by the Coke 13. And then you take that and you put it into a cryptographic dissemination device. During my time, it was called the ANCD. It's a little computer. Most awkward computer in the world to use. But one day I sat down and I went through every command in the computer so I would know how it worked. So I would know how all of the functions operated. And most importantly, so I could know when somebody was doing some shit wrong. Because there's instances where you get the wrong cryptographic keys, and if you load them into the radio at the wrong time, nobody can talk to each other. And this is a life and death situation. And I'm saying this to you right now to express to you my passion about computers and about technology and about the stuff that I'm talking about. And I've come to find that all of this stuff is connected. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences in this world. Everything you see, you were meant to see because it's going to teach you, or it has taught you, some sort of lesson. I brought you here to show you the lighthouse because when I was in my darkest moment and I messaged this individual, and I'm sure this moment gets even darker because there's a person that I've been trying to call that I love very dearly, and they have not answered the phone. It goes straight to voicemail, which tells me that because they were in their old age, that they're probably no longer with us anymore. And it's just the way it is. But it's not a loss. It's a gain to some other realm. But here, I was given the light. I was shown this beacon of hope because that's what it is. And then I opened my web browser and I use multiple computers. I have 3 different computers that I use on a regular basis. And in my house, I probably have I don't know. There's got to be, there's at least 9 computers in there. Maybe more. There's computers that I got in boxes that I haven't touched in forever. And I'm saying that to convey to you that I'm a computer person. This is what I do. And I've done it probably better than anybody that I've met in any position that I've had. But you can enter into situations and circumstances where the individuals there, they know more than you. Because they know more about the stuff because they've been using it longer. And they built it. And they understand it, and they have a language around it, and so they can have insider conversations and all this stuff. I'm not here to complain about any of that stuff. What I'm saying is that you're seeing this because perhaps there's something going on in your world that you identify with here in this video. This individual down here, he popped up in my YouTube feed. When I opened up the YouTube feed, and it says, if this video found you, you're about to shock your family. I find that to be interesting. I'm very short on family right now. And the family that I do have, they probably don't have a lot of confidence in me because I've spent a great deal of time researching all of the stuff in the technology world that all of the technology people, and if you turn on the news, when the news talks about AI and the news talks about people being hacked and the news talks about the politicians and the news, whatever the fuck the news is talking about, it's all related to the stuff that I've been researching for years now. I knew about coronavirus prior to coronavirus. How? Why? Because I heard about it when it came out of China during the Olympics. And when I researched I found that the Red Cross had vials of blood that tested positive for COVID-19, though the dates on those vials of blood preceded when COVID-19 would have left China from those Olympic Games, which means that either COVID-19 is made up or it made it to America long prior to that. Now, I'm going to leave it there because we could go through all kinds of history and find all kinds of stuff. And you can be clairvoyant, but you can't go with the mainstream. This is one question I ask. When you were in school, did you read a book all the way from the beginning to the end? Is there besides a book that some teacher, obscure teacher, probably a weirdo who was into some kind of martial art or something, said, hey, you're going to read 1984 or Malcolm X or whatever the hell, all the way beginning to end, typically the English teacher, because they understand words. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is all words. It's all words. It's all communications. That's why there are no coincidences, because everything that can be created is already in existence inside of the words that you understand. And you can't create anything new unless you are able to create new words. But if you create new words in the current society, under the current economy, you will be called crazy until you're able to place that word to a physical thing. And the Bible says that the best thing for you to do is to go into your closet and pray and be alone and fast. And do not fix your face so people know that you're fasting. To be you just be. I recorded this video to remind you to look for the motherfucking signs, because they're all around you. If you think somebody's against you, they probably are. Just look for the signs. Look how they act. Look how they treat you. Look at the things that they say. When you were down, did they lift you up? When you were up, did they knock you down? Now you know. This light told me to record this video. And if you think I'm crazy, then fuck you. This individual told me to record this video. And if you think I'm crazy, then fuck you too. Because I've spent a lifetime learning this stuff. And I've had great success. At the beginning of 2014, I was unemployed. By 2016, I had a job. At the end of 2016, I had earned $38,000 for the year. I then got offered a job from someone who was unemployed at the time that they offered me the job. And right before 2016, I apologize, they called me and they said, hey, you ready? And I got scared. I said, I got to ask my wife and I got to do all this. I got to do all that. He said, man, and just like that, my income doubled. From $38,000 a year to $75,000 a year. And then I did some more stuff and my income was at $99,000 a year. And then I made a mistake using technology and I got fired. And the one person I thought was going to hold me down called me all kinds of names. Told me about how afraid they were and blah, 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 blah. Within 2 years, I not doubled. I apologize. Because I went down. I went back to 22 an hour. Then I doubled that income again. Actually tripled to $120,000 a year. And then I went up to $150,000. And then at one point, I was over $200,000 a year. And the entire time, they didn't believe me. They didn't believe it was possible. It must be a miracle. It can't be me. It can't be my insights. It can't be the fact that I see these patterns and things, and these people are hiring me because I see them, because I understand them, because I understand computers. No, it's because of luck. And that's what you're going to hear. Because misery loves company. Don't fall for it. See you in the next broadcast, team. Peace.